Hello, friends. I want to talk with you today about helping kids resolve conflicts, whether at school or at home, and the job we play as the adults in supporting them in that process. And it actually starts with thinking about what happens at an athletic event, like if there are 30 or 40,000 people in the stands and the umpire or referee makes a call against the home team and 30 or 40,000 people go, no, no, no. And they shout and yell. And then you see the replay and the referee was right. And all of those people were sure the referee was wrong, even though the referee is trained in their work and has been doing the work for years and is 5 feet from the participants, those athletes, and somebody in the stands is 200 feet away and 50 rows up and has never reffed a game. They still feel like, no, I saw that right. And so what we know from that is that eyewitnesses are rarely able to consistently piece together what happened in an event that they've seen. And there's a lot of research about eyewitnesses at trials, to what degree people really can remember exactly what happened, especially if there's a lot of emotions involved, and especially if they were actually involved in the conflict themselves, much less being a bystander. The ability to reconstruct the sequence overwhelms our cognition because our emotions are so caught up in that. And so often what happens in schools or at home, but I'll say schools here, when two kids have had a conflict, we say, okay, tell me what happened. And the two kids start telling different stories. And it's like a hole of mirrors. You'll never find the truth out. And oftentimes it's a setup for kids to be thought of as liars because they're not telling the story in a way that is coherent. And they seem to be dodging taking responsibility, which may be true sometimes. It's just as likely, however, that they're just scrambling to make sense of something and are scared of getting punished. It's part of the problem. And how they see it and how their brain reconstructs stuff isn't reliable. And so we end up doing this, and then as adults, we're sure somebody isn't telling the truth. And we spend a lot of time in this process, and it's a waste of time. So I want to give you a better tool for your toolkit. Instead of asking kids what happened first and what happened next, because the chronology doesn't really matter, to say to a kid, what was the part that hurts the most? What was the thing that bothers you the most? Because that's what we want to get to. Because by getting to that part, we can then support each of the kids in doing a little restorative behavior, a little restorative practice with each other so they can repair the harm. Because when it comes to restorative discipline, whether at home or in schools, the most important thing is repairing the harm that was done. And the harm that was done is felt and is the response to the question, what hurts the most? What bothers you the most? It doesn't matter whether that happened first, second, third, or fourth, or fifth in the story. And sometimes you find out that what happened was 3 weeks ago. The story actually started 3 weeks ago versus what happened today. So come to that question to kids. What hurts the most? And then how with your friend, your peer, your student, your sibling, do we repair that hurt? Do we help each other get out of that? This is one of the basic fundamental practices of restorative discipline, repair the harm. It's the central notion in my new book, Hacking School Discipline Together. And keep that in mind instead of asking kids to reconstruct a chronology. Thanks. As always, you can be in touch with me through my website, jeffreybenson.org, and I hope to see you down the road.